No such thing as monitoring social media messages of citizens, says Information Minister.
The NMPC, the Southwest region, and indeed Nigeria, as this great area is once again back to life.
Steady flow of petroleum products takes off at Mosemi again.
Your views and opinions will count in evolving the legislative framework and implementation strategies.
Telecoms masts in residential areas come under scrutiny. Plus, more aid reaches displaced persons. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on NTA Network News. I'm Cyril Stober. Investigation into the $17 billion stolen from undeclared crude oil and liquefied natural gas has commenced in earnest by the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nani reports.
The House Ad Hoc Committee has the mandate to investigate the financial losses put at $17 billion in the oil and gas sector from January 2011 to December 2014. Relevant authorities had reported alleged sharp practices and financial impropriety in the sector by government agencies and some international oil companies operating in the country. NNPC, EFCC, Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, Central Bank of Nigeria, DPR, and some other relevant stakeholders are expected to appear at the public hearing. In a message, the committee, Speaker Yakubu Dogara, represented by the Minority Whip, regretted the financial leakages in the sector, which is responsible for the present economic recession, and expressed the resolve of the National Assembly in the fight against corruption and sustenance of good governance. The Ad Hoc Committee Chairman Abdulrazak Namdas decried the non-appearance of major players in the industry at the investigative hearing and stood it down for Tuesday, the 11th of April 2017.
This government is fighting corruption. It's a very serious business. And in the legislative arm, we have promised as part of our 8th legislative agenda to actually support this government to fight corruption. And we accept government agencies should also complement the government by doing the needful.
Meanwhile, the House Ad Hoc Committee investigating cash paid to government officials annually by insurance companies mandated to insure government fixed and non-fixed assets by way of return on premium says it has established various infractions by some of the insurance companies involved in the contracts between 2013 and 2015.
We've established clearly that some persons and businesses, maybe they never thought a day like this would come when somebody who asks questions just didn't do things right. And that's what this other committee's mandate is very clearly to establish.
The Ad Hoc Committee maintained it will trace all financial movements in all transactions involving the insurance companies. From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The Nigerian Medical Association has attributed some health problems to electromagnetic radiation from telecommunication masts. This was part of the submissions of the public hearing by the House Ad Hoc Committee investigating the health implications of mounting telecommunication masts close to residential buildings. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
The public hearing is in response to a motion moved on the floor by Representative Anayo Nnebe on the 2nd of March this year, urging the House to intervene in what he described as health hazards of mounting masts in residential areas.
The investigative hearing is a governance window by the legislature in the promotion of citizens' participation.
I wish to assure all the participants once again that your views and opinions will count in evolving the legislative framework and implementation strategies for ensuring a minimum health and environmental risk.
The Nigerian Medical Association, the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and some other environmental experts submitted that closeness of telecommunication masts to humans exposes them to some peculiar health hazards.
Some of these proven health hazards include, but they are not limited to, fatigue, headache, decreased concentration, cancer, especially brain tumors, leukemia, viral and other infectious diseases.
I mean, Nigerians could go to any extent for selfish ends in spite of the effect it will have on their fellow countrymen.
The Director of Technical Standards and Network Integrity of the Nigerian Communications Commission, Fidelis Honor, presented a contrary view.
The report of World Health Organization, in their conclusion, there is no convincing scientific evidence that the weak RF signal from base stations and wireless networks can have adverse health effects.
Participants recommended that the federal government should ensure that the required distance between base stations and residential areas is maintained. The committee resolved to invite the chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission for more briefing. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
The federal government has described as false the information being circulated on the social media to the effect that under a purported Ministry of Interior regulation, all phone calls and social media posts made by citizens are to be monitored and recorded. In a statement, Minister of Information and Culture Lai Mohammed described the development as another example of disinformation that has permeated the media space, especially the social media, saying while the intention of those behind the false news is to give the impression that the federal government is working to stifle freedom of speech, it is not the case. He maintained that there is no regulation, old or new, from the Ministry of Interior or any federal government agency requiring the recording of all calls or the monitoring of social media platforms like WhatsApp, Twitter, or Facebook. He stated that what is being circulated in this regard is totally false and should be disregarded, while thanking all Nigerians who have reached out to the federal government in an effort to confirm the authenticity or otherwise of this information being widely circulated on the social media. Lai Mohammed said it is the best way to ensure that the purveyors of false news do not dominate the media space. As part of a renewed effort to rehabilitate internally displaced persons in Yobe State, Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and IDPs, Sadia Umar Farouk, has launched a distribution of water pumping machines to returnees to engage in dry season farming. The intervention is to place them on the path of self-reliance. Mohammed Musa Askira reports.
The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons brought 450 water pumping machines for distribution to the members of the IDPs and returnees in the state to enable them engage in dry season farming. The Commission also donated one transformer to Gujba local government area in an attempt to restore electricity supply in the Boko Haram ravaged area. The Federal Commissioner Hajia Sadia Umar Farouk said the gesture has no political undertone, as the concern of the federal government is to alleviate the suffering of the internally displaced persons and returnees irrespective of their political, religious or ethnic inclinations.
This is the first phase of the Durable Solution Program we are bringing to Yobe State. The people of Kujiba specifically are going to be the first beneficiaries of this empowerment program.
She said a task force has been formed to supervise the usage of the donated equipment to ensure that no beneficiary sells off the machine given to him. The Executive Secretary of the Yobe State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, Alhaji Idi Musa Jidawa, who represented the State Governor Alhaji Ibrahim Gaidam, expressed the State Government's appreciation over the items brought for the IDPs and returnees in the state.
We are witnessing her coming to enhance the effort of the State Government in the pursuit of durable solutions for the IDPs and the returnees, so that they can bounce back to their life as they left it.
Some of the beneficiaries who spoke to newsmen after receiving the allocation of the pumping machines expressed gratitude to the Commission for the donation. Hamad Musa Askira, NTA News.
And closely related to that, the Managing Director of Nigerian Ports Authority, Hadiza Bala Usman, has donated relief materials to Borno State Government for distribution to internally displaced persons. Lami Ali reports.
Bala Usman, while presenting the assorted relief items, said the gesture was not only in tandem with NPA's corporate social responsibility, but in support of the people of Borno and the Northeast who have undergone the worst of experience due to security challenge. She commended President Muhammadu Buhari and the Nigerian military for their commitment to restore normalcy in areas affected by Boko Haram insurgency, stressing that efforts should be geared towards rescuing the remaining 195 Chibok girls still in captivity.
The Nigerian Ports Authority believes there's a need to strengthen their corporate social responsibility. We've noted the concerns within the Northeast and Borno State especially, and we're here today to provide support to Borno State government.
Receiving the donation, Governor Kashim Shettima praised Hadiza Bala Usman for being among those that brought the humanitarian crisis in the Northeast to global limelight as a founding member of the Bring Back Our Girls advocacy group.
This is a time for showing empathy and support to the beloved people of the Northeast. We cannot thank you enough, my sister, for the show of empathy and support. Honestly, nothing less is expected from you.
The managing director visited the Bakassi IDP's camp, the second largest in Borno State, where she expressed sympathy to them. Similar donation will be extended to IDPs in Yobe and Adamawa states. In Maiduguri, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force is to step up deployment of assets to curb incidences of insecurity in Benue State. Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar said this during discussions with Governor Samuel Otom of Benue State. Achigili Magaji reports.
Despite efforts by security agents in the state towards combating the situation, the crisis has raged on, leading to loss of many lives and other valuables. The present move by the Nigerian Air Force is to reinforce the existing efforts in ensuring lasting solution.
I supported the Air Force so much so that we have some excess airplanes. We are looking at flashpoints where there are crises, and Benue State is one of the areas that we are thinking of sending down some of our air assets.
The Air Chief called on the governor to facilitate the resolution of the land issue between the Air Force base and its host community in Makurdi. Governor Samuel Otom expressed gratitude to the military for its efforts in stemming the tide of the crisis and pledged collaboration to end the growing trend of insecurity in Benue State. The logistics include the deployment of aerial patrol aircraft and more personnel. In a related development, the governor also inspected a display of catch of arms seized from gang of criminals by the personnel of 72 Special Forces Battalion of the Nigerian Army in Makurdi. They have been handed over to the police. In Makurdi, Achigli Magaji, NTA.
Nigeria's Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has again stressed the need for Nigerian youths to harness their God-given potential and talents as a means of tackling unemployment. The Vice President stated this in Ibadan at a service that coincided with this year's Palm Sunday. Olumide Eguntola reports.
That depicts the mood as Christians, including Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who converge on the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Jesus Embassy, to appreciate God's goodness for witnessing another Sabbath day that coincides with the commemoration of 2017 Palm Sunday. Pastor Jide Ojurongbe affirmed that being in Christ is the solution to all challenges and trials of life.
So when Jesus resurrected, he showed us that Satan has been defeated. Whatever the enemy is trying to do in your life, know for one sure, he is already defeated.
In his remarks, after the launch of a gospel musical album, The Ambience by Ifeoluwa Odogiyan, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo encouraged Nigerian youths to be hardworking while harnessing their potentials.
Anyone can have gifts, but without hard work, talent is just irrelevant. It's nothing at all. And I'm so happy that he has continually demonstrated that by hard work, by resourcefulness, you can actually achieve all manner of great things. And that's one of the reasons why I felt the need to be here today to celebrate with him.
Other highlights at the service include special thanksgiving and prayers for the peaceful coexistence of the country. In Ibadan, Olumide Gotola, NTA News.
And youths as valuable assets for understanding the teachings of religions and inter-ethnic harmony was in focus at the maiden graduation of the Kaduna Center for the Studies of Christian and Muslim Religions. Muhammad Umar Ajingi reports.
The center has been organizing courses and programs for Christian and Muslim faithfuls to foster a better understanding and knowledge of the two religions in order to promote peace, tolerance, and harmony not only within the state but the country at large. Religious leaders at the graduation ceremony were unanimous on why people must learn to cohabit with one another in spite of their differences.
The three traditions have to coexist, leaving it to God to resolve their differences in His own good time.
Quran or Islam is so categorical that you Muslims have no better friends than Christians.
And until we admit that we all have the same challenges, it will be difficult for us to join together to deal with it.
Governor Nasru Ahmad El-Rufai called on religious leaders to uphold the truth.
Religion should therefore not be used as a platform to negotiate special privileges, either for the leaders of faith or sects or their followers.
Kaduna has had its own share of violence, as hundreds of people have lost their lives with property worth millions of naira destroyed, owing to ethno-religious clashes that erupted differently within the period. Bringing an end to such mindless conflict, among other reasons, are what informed the decision by the center to come up with a strategy of providing basic knowledge on the teachings of both religions for well-behaved members of the society. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Ajingi, NTA News.
Our product supply and distribution have received a major boost following the resumption of loading activities by the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation at its Monsimi area depot in Ogun State. NNPC Group Managing Director, Dr. Mekan Tibaru, who was represented by the Chief Operating Officer downstream, Henry Ikem Obi, said the recommencement of loading operations at the area marks a major milestone in NNPC's quest to ensure steady supply and distribution of petroleum products across the country. The Mosimi area had been down for almost a year due to pipeline vandalism along the Atlas Cove Mosimi pipeline right-of-way, a development that led to the crippling of commercial activities and loss of lives. It was also noted that restreaming of loading activities is in line with ensuring development of oil and gas infrastructure and, by extension, realizing President Buhari's agenda of adding value across the sector.
Nigeria, as this great area is once again back to life as the loading activities kick off, bringing more fortunes for all and sundry. You may recall that System 2B has been down for almost a year, since May 2016. Not only lives and products were lost due to these activities, but also the commercial activities in this area went comatose, with its attendant consequences of trucks having to go to Lagos to move petroleum products, congesting roads, and causing unnecessary bottlenecks in the commercial life within the Lagos area.
Meanwhile, the combined installed capacity utilization of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation's refineries located in Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna increased by about 29 percentage points in January 2017 compared with their performance in December 2016. A statement by the Group General Manager, Group Public Affairs Division of the NNPC, Ndu Gamadu, says the corporation's monthly financial and operations report for January, released in Abuja this Monday, indicates that the capacity utilization of the refineries rose from 36.73% in January 2017 as against 7.55% in the previous month of December 2016. The report, he said, attributed the improvement to the implementation of the 12 business focus areas strategy introduced by the Group Managing Director, Dr. Mekan Tibaru. The statement further adds that the Port Harcourt Refining Company, PHRC, and Warri Refining and Petrochemical Company, WRPC, also posted surpluses of 5,115 million naira and 404 million naira. Under the new refinery model, each refinery purchases crude oil at export parity price, processes and sells the corresponding products to its own account, which is different from the previous tolling plant model, where the refinery does not take title to the crude, but rather charges a tolling processing fee to the owner of the crude, which was PPMC, on behalf of the corporation. Apart from the Port Harcourt Refining Company and the Warri Refining and Petrochemical Company, 5 other subsidiaries of the corporation also posted surpluses. These are the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, NPDC, the Nigerian Gas Pipelines and Transport Company, NGPTC, NNPC Retail, the National Engineering and Technical Company, NETCO, and the Integrated Data Service Limited, IDSL. The document, which is the 18th in the series of monthly financial and operations reports since the NNPC began publishing its business transactions, also stated that the corporation recorded a 2,750 million naira reduction in its trading deficit in the period under review, putting the total trading deficit at 14.26 billion naira. And this represents about 16.19% improvement compared to 17.01 billion naira recorded in December 2016, in spite of the corporation's challenging situations which limit its aspiration to profitability. And you can watch this broadcast live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. And still to come, stock trading of solid minerals resources continues. The details shortly.
Change does not just happen. You and I and all of us must appreciate that we all have our part to play if we want to bring change about. We must change our lawless habits, our attitude to public office, and public trust. We must change our unruly behavior in schools, hospitals, marketplaces, motor parks, on the roads, in homes and offices. To bring about change, we must change ourselves by being law-abiding citizens.
When the kings of African comedy gather under one roof,
There is only one outcome. Then we bring down the roof. Come witness the craziest
and the funniest,
the oh my God, and the baddest of them all. Laughter will scatter your brain well.
Come watch the biggest names in African comedy at Glow Laughter Fest. Basketmouth, Bovi, I Go Die, Sheyi Law, Gordons, Salvador, Osama, Bash, Kenny Black, and many more.
You will never have a bigger gathering of jaw-dropping, whip-cracking comedians under one roof. One microphone, one network.
all over Nigeria. Yeah, I'm gonna be there.
I am gonna be there. I'm going to be there.
Live and direct.
For the time of your life.
Will you?
To win a free ticket, use 2,000 naira in a month and text LOL and your preferred location to 240.
Oh, Laughter Fest. Laugh go kill you, die.
True.
Glow Unlimited.
When I wake every morning, I'm a muka mattress, yo. I'm feeling good, even better than my best, yo. I am feeling good.
Wake up on a Mocha mattress and wake up to feeling good.
Hello. I just got back from the States and I need a SIM so I can have a number.
Nyafu bonus you need.
What's nyafu nyafu?
If you join MTN, you go enjoy bonus to bracket.
What's bracket?
See, any bonus we then give you, you go fit to do anything where you like with them. Chatting, browsing, texting, calling, to any network for Nigeria, and no condition at all. Completely free dot. Everything in Baku.
What's Baku?
If you buy the charge card 100 naira, they go give you 600 naira. If you call the charge 200 naira, as a big baby to is now, they will give you 1,200 naira.
Hey, brother, show me the way now.
Get an MTN SIM, register it, and get 6 times of all your recharges every time you recharge, and much more.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Helen! Your kitchen gets 10 out of 10. Thank you. This also gets a 10. Should we see the toilet now? Sure. This gets just 1.
It is clean.
But not perfect 10.
Better than my detergent and bleach? Impossible.
Challenge? Try Apex compared to bleach and detergent. Apex sticker formulation removes yellow stains times better, giving you a sparkling clean toilet.
Wow.
Now you also take that?
Perfect 10x challenge.
Also available in 200 ml pack for 200 naira only.
From the south-south to the northeast, southeast to the northwest, southwest to the north-central, the Future Assured project and its component, Get Involved, is restoring hope to millions of Nigerian women and children.
We are actually doing a lot under Future Assured, the program of Her Excellency Mrs. Aisha Muhammadu Buhari. And I believe what we are doing so far is impacting positively on the lives of women and children in Nigeria, particularly those in the internally displaced camps across the nation.
Get Involved supports the Future Assured initiative. Email programs@futureassured.org.ng. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
That scenario will not happen.
The insurgency has been contained and agricultural production is bouncing back. Nigeria is working towards food sufficiency.
So FAO, thank you for coming. We discussed we're going to need your help in expanding agriculture, in introducing new crops for local consumption and export. We need to make the rural people richer and happier than they are now.
We must become a nation where we grow what we eat and consume what we produce.
Thanks for staying with us on the news. The Federal Ministry of Mines and Steel Development has pledged to assist key players in the solid minerals sector and ways to harness the rich mineral resources in Benue State. The Minister, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, said this during a working visit to the state. Bem Hanya reports.
Minister, on arrival in Makurdi, visited Dajo Pottery, producers of high-quality ceramic products, who solicited the assistance of the minister for expansion. Dr. Fayemi, in company of the Minister of State in the ministry, Abubakar Bawa Buhari, later visited a barite processing plant in Daudu, as well as a barite mining site in Tokula village in Guma local government area, venue of a stakeholders meeting. The minister said the visit became necessary because of the federal government's renewed interest in developing the solid minerals sector, which will reduce overdependence on oil.
Work with you to even explore areas that you believe have abundance of these minerals.
Representative of the Benue State Governor, who is the Commissioner for Lands, Survey and Solid Minerals, Bernard Unenge, commended the minister for the visit and his promises while pledging the state government's cooperation with the federal government in achieving its target. In Makurdi, Bem Hanya, NTA News.
And the federal government says it will sustain various empowerment programs targeted at Niger Delta youths to be gainfully employed and be employers of labor and reduce restiveness and insecurity in the region. Minister of State for Niger Delta Affairs, Professor Claudius Daramala, said this during the graduation ceremony of a training program on ICT and entrepreneurship. Joseph Johnson reports.
After an intensive 4 weeks training, these young men and women are certified worthy to start the e-business anywhere they find themselves in the country. But the Minister of State says it is now up to them to utilize the skills acquired to uplift themselves, their families, and transform the nation.
As part of the program, an empowerment package has been put together by way of startup capital. The package is meant for you to commence micro-enterprises on the skills you have acquired.
While these 45 graduates were handed their certificates, 25 other youths are undergoing training in fish farming production, as Professor Daramola and his team, who earlier made a brief stop at the training center, were treated to some presentations by the trainees.
We can become the most of the entrepreneurs nations of the world, and governments should not only relent these aspects to the federal government. The state government also need to key into this initiative.
Hopes have been rekindled here, and with the current economic situation in the country, the training and empowerment program couldn't have come at a better time. From the Polytechnic Ibadan, Oyo State, I'm Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
A substantive secretary has been appointed for the National Assembly Service Commission. He is Mr. Olusoya Ajakai. A statement signed on behalf of the Executive Chairman of the Commission indicates that the appointment takes immediate effect. Until his appointment, Mr. Ajakai was the Director of Administration and General Services. He replaces Mrs. Emi Bikunle, who retired on the 8th of this month. And work is going on at the permanent site of the National Institute for Legislative Studies towards its expected completion in 2019. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports that the Director General of the Institute, Ladi Hamalai, paid a visit to the site to ascertain the level of work done so far.
We are almost through with the facade works. We are doing the granite tiling on the outer facade right now. We are running the completion of this ring road around the core buildings. Given the level of commitment of the Senate President and the Speaker of the House of Representatives, I'm really confident that comfortable funding level will be achieved.
The project, when completed, will have a 1,000 capacity convention center and 4 lecture theaters. The change mantra of the federal government is not limited to changing attitude to work and the management of public resources. It also involves reorientation of Nigerians on good road ethics. Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Garba Abari, said this at the Good Road Ethics Sensitization. Muplang Dakok reports.
One of the infrastructural facilities that is being abused is the use of roads, which has led to the growing statistics of road accidents. To put an end to the endless loss of lives through road crashes is what necessitated the maiden sensitization program for road users.
We are talking about engendering internal security, because a reckless road user is not only a danger to himself, he is also a danger to other road users.
The campaign focused on instilling in road users values such as obeying traffic signs and regulations, imbibing vehicle maintenance culture, and respect for other road users.
We must be licensed to drive. We also have good road ethics by people not overspeeding, learn to be within the speed limits on all roads.
Make sure your vehicle is in a good shape before you allow it to be on the road. As a driver, obey all the traffic rules and regulations.
When you don't have roadworthiness certificate, any law enforcement officer can impound the vehicle.
The program seeks to make every Nigerian know that the change needed in Nigeria can only come when the right values, attitudes, and orientation are imbibed by all. In Abuja, Muplang Dakok, NTA News.
Time now to go over to our Lagos Center for more reports. Demola is our guide. Good evening, Demola.
Good evening, Cyril, and warm welcome to Lagos. Commuters plying Lagos Apapa Wharf Road have been advised to comply with traffic rules and cooperate with law enforcement agents along the route, pending the completion of the ongoing rehabilitation work on the bridge. The Federal Controller of Works, Lagos, Godwin Eke, gave the advice while giving a brief on the progress made so far on the project. Rotimi Oluwagbemi reports.
Motorists plan Lagos Apapa route wake up to a terrible traffic jam along the bridge due to the closure of the Apapa bridge, which is currently undergoing rehabilitation. Some of the commuters bear their minds on the project.
Let them put it in order. As they are doing the road is good. Let them hasten it up.
They do not enlighten people that today they're going to fix the bridge and the bridge will be closed for today.
In a swift reaction, the Federal Controller of Works, Federal Minister of Works, Lagos State, Engineer Godwin Eke, said the rehabilitation work is long overdue since the bridge was gutted by fire 10 years ago. He said there was also public enlightenment campaigns to create awareness on the closure of the bridge.
So they cannot say we didn't have enough publicity. We made enough publicity and they are aware. That's why anytime you go on that road, you see police and everybody on the road. What is really causing the traffic is those truck drivers on the alternative routes provided. They will go there and park. Without them parking along that route, we have full flow of traffic.
Meanwhile, some road users were seen breaking traffic rules to beat the gridlock resulting from the closure. In Lagos, Rotimi Oluwagbemi, NTA News.
The Minister of Communications, Adebayo Shitu, says the federal government is committed to facilitating the passage of the Postal Reform Bill with a view to repositioning the Nigerian Postal Service for effective service delivery and revenue generation. The minister stated this in Lagos at a 3-day international conference on repositioning express mail service for growth in Africa. Musa Toliat has the details.
Minister of Communications Adebayo Shitu, who decried the poor state of the postal sector in sub-Saharan Africa, said the continent is caught in a vicious cycle of low financial performance and lack of investments as a result of low patronage in the sector. He said, although the challenges militating against express mail service is universal, there is need for participants at the international conference to tap into the wealth of experience of other countries to build public confidence, create possibilities, and come up with practical solutions.
We must take within the shortest possible time frame serious and effective remedial and long-lasting measures to improve the postal system.
This assemblage of tested and well-groomed professionals will do the needful to come up with templates that will usher in new operational strategies that will transform the business of Korea.
Secretary General of the Pan-African Postal Union, Yunus Jibrin, urged participants to deliberate on developing effective addressing and postal code system capable of enhancing home delivery and promoting e-commerce in Africa.
The project will assist in dealing with challenges of lack of modern technology.
More than 22 countries are participating in the 4-day international conference expected to come up with Africa Regional Action Plan on EMS. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
The Ruzu Nation, a healthy herbal company, has rewarded some of its distributors for their hard work and commitment. This was at the launch of the company's product. Abolore Ogbara has the details.
Of the Ruzu Herbal Bitters product. The product, which is produced for the well-being of people, has been in market since 2015. The group managing director of the company explained the reason for the rebranding.
We are celebrating the birth of the Ruzu Nation. So before now, we've sold Ruzu, but we're about to just get started. So just rebranded the bottle, so we have a new brand now, and we're letting the world know that there's a new brand called Ruzu Herbal Bitters, and we want to push it to every nook and cranny of Nigeria. We're already exporting, so we have exported to the US, we're exporting to Ghana, South Africa, and a few other countries. It's an amazing product.
He also talked about the benefits of the product.
What Ruzu really does is it cleanses your system from a cellular level and allows you to live a healthy, better life. And guess what? It is 100% made in Nigeria.
Some of the registered distributors who contributed to the promotion of the product were given different gifts and awards as a show of appreciation for their efforts.
Ruzu has not just, given me good health, has also given me wealth as well.
Building people, entrepreneurship, and giving back to society. That's what we stand for, that's what we live for.
Use the product, tell your friends and family about it, and then the desire to drive the product will naturally come.
To be a registered member of the company, officials of the company say, all you need to do is to buy just one of the products for 3,000 naira only. In Lagos, Abolore Ogbara, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. We take a break now for some messages, after which the news continues shortly. Stay with us.
Let's pepper them. So tell somebody to tell everybody to come join Maya, baby. I did bring too much sauce. No mega music talk. It's gonna be a mad over your 10. You're ready to win a show stoppers.
I'm your host for the biggest show ever.
If you miss the stuff, you're gonna miss everything. So join me, guys. Let's turn it up.
We'll be storming across Nigeria. I won't be anywhere else.
Everyone who is anyone is going to be there.
All Nigeria's A-list musicians.
One big stage.
Live and direct.
No mega music tour all over Nigeria.
So watch out because we dey come. Let's go!
It's the Glow Mega Music Tour with your favorite anchors and special guest stars. It's gonna be untamed. Text music and your preferred location to 207. Use 2,000 Naira Glow airtime in 1 month to stand in line for your free ticket. So what are you waiting for? The Glow Mega Music Tour. Glow Unlimited.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
What happened? It was a mosquito. Oh! Oh! Daddy, here!
What's happening here?
Mama, mosquitoes!
I sprayed, but the mosquitoes aren't dying.
No longer, because I've bought Motain Power Guard, which kills 100% mosquitoes. Motain Power Guard kills 100% mosquitoes.
Cadbury Bornvita now comes in an attractive new 500-gram refill pack. Simply open and reseal after use to retain the chocolatey and creamy taste. Cadbury Bornvita. Prepare to win.
Everyday air. Ordinary air. And then there's Tom Air. There's air, and then there's Tom Air. What are you breathing? New Tom 5-piece pack.
It's finally here, the most anticipated sports show on live television, featuring great sports icons from ex-internationals to famed journalists and administrators. It doesn't come bigger than the Sports Parliament. Be a part of the biggest sports talk show on television to help chart a successful path for Nigerian sports. 11 p.m. to midnight on Thursday on the NTA. Sports Parliament, where the eggheads converge.
Still on NTA Network News, expert makes case for the diversification of foreign exchange services and stabilizing the Naira. The details of this and more with Leah Katumba Batunde.
Hello and welcome to Business News at 9. The multiple sources of forex and the need to free the economy of ambiguous policies and regulations have been identified as panacea to relax the business terrain and boost investors' confidence for a robust economy. Pato Rama, an investor and economy analyst, in this interview with NTA's Business News correspondent Joy Uzo, said CBN's intervention in the foreign exchange market is a welcome development because it is one of the ways of stabilizing stabilizing the naira, but decries the fact that it is a single source and will in the long run weaken the sustainability of the process.
There must be other channels of getting funds aside from the Central Bank of Nigeria into the economy for the forex intervention to be sustained and to have the desired effect on the economy.
He said it is necessary to sustain the foreign exchange intervention of the federal government in the long run through the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. The March 2017 CPI inflation report, as well as diesel, petrol, kerosene, transport, gas, and selected food price watch reports will now be released Thursday, the 13th of April 2017. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, in a statement said the data will not come on Saturday, the 15th of April, as previously indicated in the NBS Advanced Data Release Calendar. Lastly, the Nigerian Stock Exchange resumed the week on a slow mode. Let's take a look at graphic summary. And that is business news for this hour. Thank you for watching. The bulletin will continue shortly.
Controller General of Customs Hamid Ali has reiterated a commitment to reorganize and reform the service in tune with the federal government change agenda. He emphasized professionalism while decorating newly promoted top officials on command posting. Abdul Fattah Adidino reports.
The Controller General of Nigerian Customs says 3,257 customs officers of various cadres have been promoted. He charged them to embrace the change mantra and rededicate themselves to the service of their fatherland. Colonel Hamid Ali says, in compliance with a circular dated 8 September 2016 from the Head of Service of Federation and the approval of government since April 1992 for the Nigerian Customs Service to align with the Nigerian Police Force rank restructure and in fulfillment of the CG's mandate to reorganize and reform the Nigerian Customs Services. Henceforth, all HND holders currently on salary grade level 07 are automatically moved to salary grade level 08, adding that supplementary budget will be made for payment of arrears of salary. He says officers of the Inspectorate cadre on salary grade level 08 and above are to align to the appropriate rank in the Superintendent cadre.
All of us as officers in the Nigerian Customs Service must now know that you cannot sit and not do anything and expect to be promoted. Gone are those days.
In Abuja, Abdul Fattah Adidino, NTA News.
Experts on Good Morning Nigeria today submitted that for Nigeria to catch up with the rest of the world and compete effectively, it has to migrate to a knowledge-based economy. Gufan Shaji reports.
Guest identified knowledge as an essential ingredient in economic development, especially as the world is driven by information and communication technology. They said more and more countries are embracing knowledge and innovation-related policies to spur growth and competitiveness, and Nigeria cannot be left behind.
What drives innovation? What is the link between the private sector, like Prof has said, and the educational sector, the universities, the research and development sectors? Is there collaboration between the private sector and the universities and research centers where knowledge is being developed and acquired?
They also want Nigeria to invest heavily in the educational sector so as to develop the needed human capital that will enhance Nigerians' competitiveness globally.
Ensuring that businesses have enough incentives to invest in knowledge capital.
We need to build a complete knowledge economy ecosystem. Now, a knowledge economy ecosystem has several parts. There is the need to transform education by asking the question, what type of education do we need to be able to exploit our own economic opportunities where Nigeria has competitive advantage?
It means we've got to have good curriculum in place, good curriculum delivery, well-motivated teachers, good facilities, and all of that.
He also suggested that entrepreneurship that is knowledge driven by must be encouraged to create wealth and job opportunities. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji, NTA News.
We'll take another break now for more messages.
Restoring growth, investing in people, and driving competition. Recipes for a strong economy. This is the focus on this week's edition of Tuesday Live. Economic Recovery and Growth Plan 2017 to 2020. What are those strategies? Tuesday Live. Educative, informative, and incisive. A must-watch.
Following the approval of the whistleblowers policy by the Federal Executive Council and its launch by the Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, patriotic Nigerians have been making inquiries on how and where they could deliver information that could lead to the stopping or uncovering of fraud to the appropriate authority and answers to frequently asked questions. The Federal Minister of Finance has therefore dedicated a telephone line for receiving SMS, a whistleblowers portal, and an email address through which members of the public who volunteer to disclose information about a possible misconduct or violation could deliver such information for the attention of the team dedicated to process such information.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC impacts upon everything we do, including water we drink, the food we eat. They are important organs to the development of this country. And everybody should come out and join them and support them and help them to achieve the greatest benefits and success that they need to record.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
And the news continues now. The federal government has condoled with the government and people of Egypt on the terrorist attacks on two Coptic churches in the towns of Tanta and Alexandria, which left no fewer than 44 people dead. A statement by the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Clement Aduku, indicated Nigeria's firm commitment in the fight against terrorism in all ramifications and pledged cooperation with Egypt and all countries in stamping out the trend. In the meantime, Egypt has declared a state of emergency after the deadly Coptic churches attack, plus group of seven leading nations meet in Italy over Syrian war. Gabriel Odu has more on Global Tidbits.
Egyptian President Abdul Fattah al-Sisi has announced a